Go.
Drinking with Authors may contain adult content. Listener discretion is advised.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's episode of Drinking with Authors. I am your host, author Nick Savage. This episode, as every episode, is brought to you by Four Horsemen Publications. So go to their website and check them out. Give some of their authors a try. But today, I want to welcome Egyptian-American storyteller and actor Ayman Saman, whose work spans multiple continents and mediums. I read his bio. Welcome, Ayman. How are you doing today?
Very good, man. Very good. Thank you, Nick, for the awesome introduction. I appreciate it.
Thank you. So we actually go way back. So this is going to be a little friendlier chat than some other, not that I've had unfriendly chats, but, you know, we go back. I know you first as an actor. You've been on everything from NCIS, Los Angeles, and New Orleans to multiple shows, Madam Secretary, Blind Spot, stuff like that. You got your start in acting. Your big break, I should say, was on, what was it, American Sniper, with Bradley Cooper and stuff, where you had a really intense dinner scene. But now, as you're making your way, I don't want to say making your way behind camera, but exploring the behind camera stuff, and you've gotten into writing, you have your debut novel, Hidden from View.
Yes.
Which is a psychological thriller dealing with vivid dreams and cult secrets and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Give us the skinny on that whole thing.
So, all right. So when I started writing, I actually started writing screenplays because when I first moved to LA, it was during the time where like 24 and Homeland and all of that stuff and all the acting gigs that were available for a guy that looked like me, where Terrorist Number 2 and all of that stuff. So which was great. It was it paid the bills. I'm not complaining. It was a lot of work. But
it's not what you aspired to, was to be Terrorist Number 3.
Yeah, that wasn't exactly like why I got into acting. So I started writing my own, first started with short films, things that I could play, characters, like different characters that I would love to play. I wrote them for myself, and then I actually started to really like writing. For some reason, like I initially was like just writing, with what do you call ulterior motives, selfish reasons, and then I actually started to dig the process and to just I'm sure you can relate as a writer. You just delve into the world, and you're like you're like in a different realm, and then you come back to this world, and you're like, whoa! It takes you like a few minutes to kind of like readapt to reality and stuff.
No, definitely relate to that.
So I really enjoyed that process, and I really loved it. So I was like, let me push myself to write a feature script. And so Hidden from View was actually started out as a feature script. And it's based loosely on some real incidences. I used to live in a canyon in Hollywood, in Burbank, and at the time I was going through a turbulent marriage, and it's kind of towards the end of it, and so it was kind of a dark time in my life, and I used that so writing was kind of also helped me heal through that stuff, and use that darkness, put it on the page instead of in real life.
Oh yeah.
So I came up with this story the canyon was kind of inhabited by a cult that sacrifices people to maintain eternal life and stuff. And
what that feeds right into the conspiracy theories of the basements at Pizza Hut. So cults in Hollywood are always in that area are always a very good kind of basis right there. Yeah.
There's even real stories of cults in canyons in Hollywood. for real, you know. So
Oh yeah, no. See, I don't know about those. I know about the weird ones.
my imagination was like, oh, what if I'm actually living in that scenario right now? So anyway, but the years later, like I've been pitching that script and trying, you know, to get it made as a movie. And last year, I got really tired of the process. I mean, you know, you're pitching your own TV show, and it's an arduous process, and I kind of like, you know, you get like people so excited, and then all of a sudden you never hear back, and like it's that roller coaster of like, oh, maybe it will, oh shit, it's not gonna happen. You know, so I was really tired of that cycle. Even though I have like you, I have a team that is really passionate about the project and they want to see it made and stuff. And but anyway, so at the beginning of last year, I was like, you know, I need to do something creative instead of this like hustle of pitching and pitching. Maybe I can actually turn it into a novel, and then I can expand the IP. Everybody says IP nowadays in Hollywood and all of that stuff. But I just wanted to do something, you know, like I wanted to feel like I'm making progress. So so I started writing the novel version of it. I was very intimidated because like I got really good at like the short form of screenplays, because like screenplays is just like visual stuff,
Yes.
short and to the point, where in the novel you kind of have to like use prose and like, you know, explain and like paint a picture with words and stuff. And I was like, okay, I'm up for the challenge. And I used kind of like what I know as an actor, like because when you get a script, again, it's abbreviated, and you kind of start to like create the subtext, and you create like the backstory of the character, even though it's not on the page. You try to interpret it. So I started to use that into like the novel, of like giving more subtext for the characters and stuff. And I made it in the lead character's voice. The weird thing that happened is that the novel took its own life. Like it became different from the movie.
Always.
It had certain elements from the movie, but like it just took a different turn that even warrants its own movie now. Like it's kind of like it was a strange journey, because I was like, I'm not gonna try to control it. I'm just gonna let the characters be and for me. So like some of the characters that were devious in the screenplay ended up being like benevolent in the novel, and the plot changed a little bit, and you know, so so it was a really interesting process to go through, converting a screenplay into a novel in that sense.
It's actually funny because I don't get a lot of guests on the show that do the, you know, novel to screenplay or screenplay to novel, especially that way. But I always find it interesting because writers are always like, oh, if it ever gets made, I'm going to control the screenplay. And it's like, no, you're not. Because there's going to be someone in the studio who's going to write the screenplay.
Yeah.
And I think the best, you know, way to look at it is always like Stephen King books, short stories are always adapted and they're always different. And then, of course, you get the people who are like the purists who are like, it's not exactly the same. And you can attest to this. You can't make it exactly the same.
It can't be. It cannot be.
Yeah, like the storytelling medium of having the visuals and the, you know, the hour and a half to make something into a movie, or nowadays 2.5 hours, whatever.
Yeah.
Is so condensed that it's, and just the way some of the scenes play out in the book won't play the same on screen. So you're making these changes, and then you're like, oh, well, wait, they don't work as, like you said, devious, you know, characters, and now they, you know, in the book they're more benevolent and stuff, and so it's just it's very interesting to see that, and it's nice to hear someone else have that experience with it, because it's so any author listening, it's okay to let your babies grow and change from book to screen format as well.
Yeah, I think, yeah, because it's like, I understand, as a writer in general, whether you're a novelist or a screen writer, I understand the painstaking time that could take to just like finesse like one sentence, or like the research to like have the perfect word in there and stuff. But I think, which it's understandable, and that's like part of the art form. But again, like, you can't be too precious about your work, especially if it's going to be converted into a different medium. It's kind of like, somebody gave me that analogy before, and he's like, even with a screenplay, when you sell your screenplay to be a movie, which is what it's made for originally, the director will have different insights, the production will have different insights, because maybe this will cost a certain amount of it's certain things need to change. And I remember one of my mentors told me, it's like, when you sell your screenplay, it's like selling a car. You sold your car, you don't go and revisit the buyer and like give them a hard time of why they repainted it, or why they like changed something about that.
That is the best analogy I've ever heard in my life. It's true too, because like I've known people who, like, when they sell their home, they're always like, God, I hope they don't change this room that I put so much time into. It's like, it's not your room anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not your house anymore. It's not your car. It's not your screenplay anymore.
Right.
You sold it. They give you money so they can now kill your darlings, and it's just what it's for.
Right. And also, like, being on the other side of things and being a filmmaker of like, so because I directed like some of the stuff that I wrote. And when you're on set, it's a different game, so like, you're working through the script, and there's maybe time issues. There's like an actor who's having a hard time with a certain line, or certain thing. So you have to like be malleable and change things on the fly, and you're not gonna like call the writer, the screenwriter, like, hey, do you mind if we change this line? No. There's not. It doesn't work that way. The screenwriter's mission is done by handing off the screenplay to the production team. Same with the novel being handed off to a screenwriter, and then like a filmmaker. It's just every process requires certain modifications that is just to make it work for the medium.
Yes. And so we're bringing it back to the book, because as much as I could talk about movies and screenwriting all day, as I'm sure you can, we have a book of yours to talk about. Yes. Bring it back to the book. You have the novel, and it seems to be doing pretty well for you. So, congrats on that and everything. Even getting a novel out, and people are like, oh, I only wrote one book. Only, I think it's like 10% of the world population writes a book, which 10% is not a lot. It's 1 in every 10 people write a book. Even fewer actually get it published in some medium, whether it's traditionally published or self-published. So the fact that you've done it, you've done something that the majority of human beings will never do. So, the next step is, now that that's done, because we all proud of a step we take, and now it's what's next. Do you have other books you plan on writing, or is this something you did because it was kind of in your mind?
I initially I did it because it was something on my mind to do, and I just when I was done with it, I kind of left the ending a little bit ambiguous, a little bit open, that it lends itself to a continuation of the story. And I was considering, because like this one is hidden from view, which actually hidden from view means is the word occult in Latin. It means hidden from view.
Huh. I did not know that. You learn something new every day, folks.
So because the story revolves around an occultic practicing group.
Yeah.
So it's hidden from. So I was I was thinking. I mean, I haven't really plotted it yet, but I'm thinking like the next piece would be called "Hidden in Plain Sight," which would be the next piece of this puzzle.
Now, does Hidden in Plain Sight then also have a Latin word that I should know?
No,
And just,
no,
no, okay.
Just playing up the same like theme, the naming convention.
Hey, I don't know. I wasn't sure if like Hidden in Plain Sight is like, oh yeah, that's the Latin word is conspicuous. Like I don't know these things.
The word
Yeah.
Pepsi in Latin means like,
So okay, now in the book you have where these vivid dreams are kind of holding the clues and the keys to this the cult and hidden secrets and stuff like that. Can you tell us, can you delve into that part without any spoilers?
yeah.
Okay, cool, because otherwise that would have been really short.
Yeah. No, of course. There's so I personally get a lot of vivid dreams, which is like, and also like in all of my screenplays so far, the dream theme plays a critical part in the main character's like world. So in this story, the main character Sam, who is like he's a journalist, but he had like of course previous trauma, but he has these vivid dreams of a woman in a forest, and it's a recurring dream. So he dreams of this woman trapped in a forest, who seems to know his name, and calls on him for help. And he, as soon as he tries to get close, he feels paralyzed, like he can't move further. And then shadowy figures come from behind the trees and swoop her away and leave. And that's like a recurring dream that he's having. And then one day he's walking his dog, and he finds a poster of a missing person, and it's a picture of that woman from his dream.
Aha.
So then he starts to think like, why is he dreaming of it's obviously a real woman and exists in real life, and he's dreaming of her and she's missing, and like he dreams that she's in distress, and like, so can he actually save her in real life, and why him specifically? So his journalistic mind starts to like try to dig up like who she is, why did she disappear, what happened to her, and of course like why are they so connected that he has to dream of her, that she appears in his dreams. And so he goes in the rabbit hole of trying to figure out what happened to her, and that leads him into like a spiritual group that is led by this charismatic leader who and they have like an occultic practice, and they believe in they're the guardians of the world, and they have to do certain things to maintain that for the rest of us.
And just so we all are on the same page, because you say that you have dreams, so you have the dream theme, and I love you kind of dreams as portents, you know what I'm saying, of things and stuff like that. I think that's a great trope, and it's something that I've used heavily in one of my series. You're not into the occult, right? Like that's just something for the books. You're not in one of these Burbank Valley cults, right? I'm not going to find out and read some stuff about you, brother.
I'm sure people will, like, the rumors are going to be like, oh yeah, and of course he's in Hollywood, and that's like why he got famous, and that, just like when I played heavy metal in Egypt, and people over there called us Satanists and stuff, and because they didn't understand like the medium, and but not really. I've always been fascinated though by like not like occults specifically, like not a specific occult, but just like the the mindset of the and the dynamic of the whole thing of like one person, manipulating a bunch of very intelligent people and isolating them and making them, believe in something against everybody else and stuff. So I've always been fascinated by the psychology and the dynamics, and like I always watch a lot of like documentaries about cults, and like it's always been a fascinating topic for me.
No, I actually love reading about things like that too. I just like to, we have to. People think nowadays that the actors are the characters they play, or the authors are the characters in their books.
Yeah.
So I wanted to dispel that, because I know you and I know your background, and you actually brought up something that I'm going to touch on because I love talking music. You were in, and if you don't mind telling this story, otherwise I'll sum it up. Egypt's one of the first heavy metal bands in Egypt.
Yes. Yeah.
Can you touch on that for a hot moment?
Yeah. So I got, when I was in high school, I started listening to heavy metal, and back then, I'm probably gonna date myself. There wasn't like the internet wasn't huge. We would get music on like CDs and tapes and stuff. But I got into it for some reason, and it really spoke to my my teenage hormonal rebellion, and it I feel like it kind of actually saved me from using that energy and darkness into like something more aggressive, like towards humanity, that rather than redirect that energy into the music. And it wasn't a very popular kind of music in Egypt at the time. It was like, I think we were one of like 5 bands in all of Egypt. Yeah, so I loved it. And then, we rehearsed and we wrote some music. And then eventually we ended up playing this the first ever metal concert in Egypt, which was attended by about 5,000 people, which was like very surreal.
That's not a small amount of people, especially for a first of something in any country.
Yeah.
So that's something to be proud of. And I love your story because I know your story. I've heard it before, so I'm sorry that I'm making you say it again. But people who don't know it, man, it's a very awesome story, because you at the time, Egypt was not as friendly as it is now. Mm-hmm. And I'm not saying that it's overly friendly now, but it was less friendly then. I don't know much about international relations, so anything I'm saying can be taken as a piece of fucking crap word. Like, I don't know international shit. But it was not as friendly as it is now. And you came to America to, and you were doing stand-up comedy, which I've seen some of your stand-up comedy stuff, and I thought it was hysterical. And you were doing, your different, trying your, dipping your toes into different things, seeing what did well, and you landed on the acting, and the acting has worked well for you. And the writing, you said earlier, was kind of and I'm paraphrasing here, it was almost like cathartic in the sense of, writing, and even with music, it's a way to express yourself without being, it's a way to express certain inner, emotions without having to be, violent or doing things that you can't do in real life, and putting them down on paper and telling your story and stuff. And you've been doing it for a number of years. Do you ever see yourself stopping in one form or another?
Stopping
any of it, writing, acting?
No, I think so. Here's the thing that I realized, because I've like you mentioned, I've touched on so many artistic forms, like different forms of expression. First music, acting, stand up, writing, filmmaking, all of that stuff. And maybe I haven't been maybe I wasn't like the best in all of those, but I feel like for me, it's kind of like a continuous reinvention of self. And I will always see myself having a creative outlet, whatever that may be in the next stage. I don't know. But I will not. I'll not stop being creative. But I'm probably not going to be stuck doing the same thing forever.
No, and that's definitely okay, because I think the need for a creative outlet is definitely a must. You know what I'm saying? It's a need to have a creative outlet for creative people is as important to them as having food or shelter. Like, you have to have it out, and it's nice to hear that, because as long as I've known you, as long as I've been familiar with your work, you've always been a very creative type, and I love watching your work and stuff, and I just think it's great. But you said you may have another novel in the works with this, within this world. Do you plan on taking any other work that you've done for screen and putting it into a novel format or anything like that?
Possibly, because like I have another screenplay that's also like a psychological thriller. It doesn't revolve around the cult, but it deals with sleep paralysis and jinn. Jinn, not the drink, the ancient demons, the Arab way of saying
Jinns, yes.
Yeah,
DJINNS, yes, Jinns, yeah. Not the drink.
Yeah. So it deals with that, like with that, and it's kind of like tackles the post-COVID trauma that not a lot of people spoke to. Like I personally, after coming out of it, I felt like I had like social apprehension, like anxiety, like to be out and about, and which wasn't a thing for me before, and fear of like intimacy and stuff like that. So I, of course, as I always do, turn like all the darkness into like a creative thing. So I wrote this movie, and it has like an Egyptian theme to it. It's called Al Jathum, which Al Jathum is the Arabic for the sleep paralysis jinn. It's so the myth goes as like the sleep paralysis is basically when a jinn or a demon sits on your chest when you're sleeping, rendering you paralyzed, because you can't like speak, you can't move, but everything seems real. And so Al Jathum is the name of that particular demon, and it also means the suffocator.
That is wonderful. I just love the fact that you have a specific demon for sleep paralysis in Egyptian mythology. I used to, when I was younger, I loved mythologies and, like studying them, but it's been so long since I've studied them in any sort of intensity. And I never knew about the sleep paralysis jinn, which is hysterical. But being who I was in college, I did have some nights where sleep paralysis was from the drink jinn, not the demon.
Yeah.
But that's a different story we won't talk about. You helped me, and I'm wearing the shirt because you helped with this novel. You helped translate the stuff that we needed in Arabic, and like any language, Arabic has different dialects.
Yeah.
What dialect did you translate into? Just so I know.
If I recall correctly, it was Egyptian dialect, because the character was Egyptian.
And Egyptian is just, it's because Egypt's not a small country. There's just one dialect in all of Egypt for Arabic. Or the main dialect.
Yes, but like different accents in the country. It's kind of like, like where America, you have like the Texans and the Midwesterns, and like, within the country, there's different accents of, but also if you think of dialects in Arabic, it's like each country speaks Arabic, but with its own dialect, meaning like think Scottish people and people from New Zealand, and and people and British people and Americans, they all speak English, but each country has its own dialect of English that you might not understand sometimes. You know, like it might be to a Scottish person and don't know what the fuck they're talking about.
No. That makes perfect sense, because I love studying languages, and I actually started studying Arabic foolishly, thinking that I'd be able to talk with you one day in nothing but Arabic, and that quickly, my dreams got squashed on that, because holy hell.
Yeah.
I have studied many languages and can read a few of them fluently enough. Speaking them, my pronunciation is horrible in all of them. English is bad enough. No way. Like Arabic it's a completely different mindset, because just the way it reads, the Sanskrit itself versus either, Roman numerals, or even the I can't even think what the hell it's called right now, but like the Russian alphabet, and Cyrillic. And it's very different, and it's a very beautiful language, very beautiful, but studying it, it's
difficult, man. It's an intricate language, because even like in school. So my dad at some point taught Arabic language in part of his career, and I used to get higher grades in English and French than I did in Arabic, and it used to piss him off, because I'm like, well, it's a difficult language, man. What do you want? The grammar is so hard.
Well, it's very hard, but like I said, it's very beautiful, and I continue to study it along with my 12 other languages, or whatever the hell number of languages I'm studying, just because it's fun. Like I recently,
are you using Duolingo, or what are you using?
I'm using Duolingo mainly because I'm on like a 2,780 something day streak, and I don't want to break it.
Oh, wow, that's awesome. Wow.
Yeah, it's like 7.62 years is where I'm at right now on doing those. But I want to look at other apps as well. I've recently started doing like Haitian Creole. Because there's a lot of Haitian Creoles in Orlando. And so it'd just be nice to be able to say like, what's up, you know what I'm saying, or something. But again, my accents, whenever I study languages, always sound so like I know what I look like. And I know what like my Irish accent sounds like when I practice my Irish, and it just sounds like I'm going to, accuse people of stealing my Lucky Charms. So I try not to I try, but my Haitian Creole just sounds like I'm just like, I can't. I won't even do it on camera, because it sounds like I'm singing just like it sounds stereotypical, like I'm just making, and I'm like not making fun of it. I'm just copying what I'm hearing, but it just sounds like I shouldn't be saying it. So I'm just like any language. I'm just like, no, I refuse to speak them if I can.
Yeah, accents are crazy, man. Also, I'll tell you like a really trivial, like hilarious, trivial thing that a friend of mine, was a voiceover director, shared with me the other day. And she was like, if you say beer can, beer can in British accent, it's how Jamaicans say bacon. Can you try it? With a British accent.
I'm not saying it. I'm not saying it in either of those accents, but it's freaking hysterical. There are those things though with the accents where it's just like, oh, you just take out this, and I can't remember what I saw, but I saw a video like that on some word where I was just like, oh, if you just say something in this way, it's that accent without it, and it's just accents are funny like that though. But like it's so hard. Like I do a little bit of voiceover work for a small company, and I lean heavy into my Chicago accent for it, like heavy into it, almost like Blues Brothers meets like Chicago mops. Yeah, it's for this thing where I'm like, welcome to Atomic Laundry type stuff, and it's just like really funny, but like to hear, because I just love linguistics and everything like that, so it's always fun to try and learn languages and to do it. But you just know multiple languages. You're naturally at least bilingual.
It's I think it's just that I was, like I was a really good mimic when I was a kid, and also like the music thing
Yeah.
gives you that ear where you can just hear something and mimic it, quickly. And it helped me a lot with acting, especially because like with like doing Arab roles, having to nail like other dialects of Arabic. Like I played a Saudi character a couple of times, and they speak completely different from how we speak in Egypt. Uh, and I had to learn that dialect. I played an Iraqi and American Sniper, and also they speak completely differently from how we speak in Egypt, even though it's still Arabic, but it's completely different way of saying the things. So I had to learn. So within Arabic, I actually speak different dialects, and I speak English and a little bit of French and a little bit of Italian. And now actually I'm getting into Turkish for a little bit because I direct dubbing projects. So I've been doing a lot of Turkish projects. So I had to educate myself on that language, because like the way they write certain things and the letters and the pronunciation and things like that. And also there's an overlap between Turkish and Arabic, because we were part of the Ottoman Empire for a long time.
Ah, those Ottomans. Yes, they had that empire for a while.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. A couple of years.
Yeah.
It's like one or two. Yeah.
Exactly. So I love languages. I was a nerd, man. I was a language nerd in high school. I would walk with I had like an English Oxford dictionary with me, and I would listen to pop songs or metal songs or watch American movies, and I would hear the word and I would write it down phonetically. I would try to look it up, and in the process, I would learn a couple of other words that sound like it and stuff. I was an uber language nerd.
You know what? There need to be more nerds in this world, because when I was in high school, you see the kids who are like the nerds or the dorks or whatever, and they're all doing so well nowadays that honestly, listen to your parents and don't be cool, be a nerd and just do your stuff, because you end up a lot better.
I was still cool though. I mean, I was playing metal, but
you're definitely cool. If you were doing what you were doing back in the day with the heavy metal stuff and getting the attention you were for the heavy metal bands in Egypt and stuff, definitely not like someone who was picked on in that degree by any means, but knowledge is never a dorky thing to learn or to have. If you know a bit of French and you study Haitian Creole, by the way, just on a side note, you will see French influence in there heavily. And then you'll see where they just said it's influence, but fuck French. We're going to have it be our own stuff. Yeah.
Of course.
It's kind of like Portuguese and Spanish. You can see the influence of each other in there, and how they both were just like, yeah, that was enough of that, and we're going to have our own language.
That's kind of what Egyptians did with Arabic. They're like, they rebelled against, like, because Arabic, also the Arabs colonized Egypt. Egypt was not an Arabic-speaking country, so they came in and like colonized this and like converted everything, the religion and the language. So it was our way of rebelling against them. We butchered the Arabic language completely.
So wait. Okay, hold on. We have to talk about this because this is so interesting to me. So Arabic is the predominant language in Egypt.
Yeah.
But what language was spoken then before the Arabs came in and colonized, or whatever the word is?
That's a very good question. I mean, there was parts of the ancient language was still spoken, not written, and probably some Turkish. Because was it Turkish?
So was like Aramaic spoken in Egypt before?
In parts, in parts.
And I'm assuming you don't speak Aramaic?
No.
Okay. I know there's only like 12 people on the planet who speak it fluently. I was like, maybe you're one of them. I don't know.
No, not Aramaic.
No. It's, I've also studied Latin, not extensively, but enough to go, wow, this language is not useful anymore.
One second, I think my TV kicked in. 1 second.
Uh-oh. We'll be right back. And we're back. And that was literally like as long as it took to pause it, we came back. No, it's okay. I've actually learned from doing this that I have to give away all other distractions and turn them off because my ADD or whatever I'm not diagnosed with that is very much aligned with ADD gets distracted if I have stuff pop up on my computer screen as we're talking or anything like that. So I have to like turn off cell phones, turn off alerts.
Most creative people have some level of ADD one way or another.
You have to. You definitely have to. But we are at a point where I need to ask you this because you have a book out, you have stuff people want to watch, you have book people want to read, and hopefully the book will lead to more books because it's hard for authors with one book to get a lot of reviews. You know what I'm saying? But you have some reviews. You have 27 ratings on it right now, which for one book is a lot. You know,
all 5 stars, man.
All 5 stars, yeah, which is really nice, which says something to your writing abilities. People are going to want to know where to buy this, where to follow you, where to start stalking you, where the ladies can come say, hey, he went through a divorce. He's single. Let's talk to him. Because I want you to know, for anyone watching this, I met him 20-something years ago. He looks the fucking same. He has not aged a day. Maybe a couple of gray hairs. Has not aged a day in 20-something years. It's ridiculous. So where can we find you, follow you? Where can we buy your book? Give us all that jazz.
All right. So the book is, it's on Amazon, both digital and, paperback and also Barnes and Noble, all the digital like platforms where you can get books. I'm actually working on an audio book version of it with my voice. But it's not there yet. But they can get Hidden from View available on Amazon and Barnes and Noble and all the other platforms that you can buy books from. But most of the reviews and stuff are on Amazon. So people can find me on Instagram at Aymanation, 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 my name and the thing, and also my website is aymansamman.com. But yeah, I'm happy to, if anyone wants to get in touch, have any questions, I'm happy to support people on their creative journey.
And I can attest to that because he has been there for me along the way, and he is a gentleman and a scholar. And if you too are sick of playing Terrorist Number 3, write a movie with him and play something besides that. Show the United States that not all people of olive skin tone are terrorists or mafia people. Do you know that I learned from my wife, and I thought this was funny, Italians weren't always considered white. And I was like, I did not know this. I mean, it makes sense. We're not from the Caucasus Mountains, which is where Caucasians are from and stuff like that. But she pointed it out to me, and I was like, no. And then we were at a baseball stadium, and I looked up at all the posters with all the people and their names, and I couldn't tell you based on their names and the people what if they were Italian or not. And I was like, damn. I was like, that is hysterical to me. And I'm like, not that I care because I don't give a shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, people are people. But I was just like, that was hysterical to me. And now you can say that. You can say that too, jokingly, of course. Yeah.
For the longest time, actually, with acting too, like it was there was no category for Middle Eastern. I had to either put either white or black. There wasn't a category.
No other category.
Other was there was an other one. Like, and then eventually, like they gave us our own category. But yes, I was other.
It only took over 100 years of Hollywood before the Middle Eastern whole ethnicity got their own category in Hollywood.
Yeah,
and we owe that to Ayman right here. Yeah.
Well, had to, not me. There was actually a group of Middle Eastern actors that actually had to fight for it, for that to happen. So.
That's insane. That's insane. I actually was watching a show, and I can't remember what show it was, but but we were watching a show and I didn't know you had a role in it. And you fucking just appeared on screen and walked on screen. I was like, I know him. I was like, I know him. I can't remember what it was, but I was just like, it was so cool to see you do your thing.
Was it the one? I think you may have sent me. Was it Queen of the South? It might have been Queen of the South.
I honestly don't remember at this point. I watch so much stuff and just try and keep up and get all the influence. But it was so cool to see it happen and stuff.
Yeah.
But everyone, go follow him. He's on Facebook. He's on Instagram. Go to his website. Check out his book. Get his book. It's $14.99 on Amazon. Or if you're in India, it's like 1,247 rupees, which I looked it up just because it's on Amazon India. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I just happened to be searching it when I was doing my research and saw it, and I was like, man, that's a lot of rupees, but apparently it's only like 15 American dollars.
That's very
cool. There's that for you. And I always like to ask, if you had one piece of writing advice you can give to an aspiring writer, what would that be?
I think the biggest thing that helped me, because writers are the best procrastinators in the world. I mean, I can speak for myself. Give yourself a fake deadline and stick to it.
You know what? I love that because when I have a deadline, I write and I get it done. And if I don't have a deadline, I'm like, I'll get it done.
Yeah. I usually beat the deadline whenever I give myself like that with Hidden from View, the film script. I wrote the first 30 pages and I would leave it and come back and then I would like read it again because it's been a while and then rewrite the 30 pages and I kept rewriting the same 30 pages forever. And I'm like, I gotta finish this draft. It's not gonna happen. I was like, it was June, and I was like, okay, I gotta finish it before Christmas.
Yeah.
And that was my deadline, my fake deadline, because nobody was forcing me. And I ended up finishing it by Thanksgiving, actually.
See, so there you have it, folks. Give yourself a fake deadline. Force yourself to do it. Tie yourself down to a chair, and yeah. Or you can just be like the writers in the 70s and just do lots of cocaine. I'm just kidding. Don't do drugs. Drugs are bad. And drugs are bad. I make these jokes, and this is why people think I do drugs. I'm like, no, I don't do drugs. I'm just hyper all the time because I live on caffeine, which I understand is technically a drug.
It is. Yeah.
But it's caffeine. It doesn't count.
Right.
There's so many jokes I can make right now, but I won't. Iman, I want to thank you so much for joining me today. It's been a pleasure catching up again and having you on the show. For everyone who is watching, listening, thank you so much for being here. I love you all. And just remember, until next time, it costs nothing to be kind. See you.
Thank you for listening to Drinking with Authors. Join us next time for another fun conversation with an author over drinks.